Welcome back to Mass Constrictors, and today we will be feeding our snakes. So currently in the time of making this video, it's Sunday, which is meal prep Sunday. So I start the morning off meal prepping my food, as well as meal prepping the snakes' food. I feed them every Sunday. There's a few things to talk about when feeding snakes. That's going to be how frequently you feed them and the size of the rodent you feed them. And if you feed them live or frozen thawed. So how I do it is with the ball pythons and the baby boas, I feed them every week, every Sunday. With the reticulated pythons and the older boas, I'm feeding them every 2 Sundays, depending. So I'll offer them 2 small rats. If they take them, I will feed them again in 2 weeks. If they eat 1 small rat, I will feed them again in 1 week. Okay. So now when picking the size of the rat or mouse that you're feeding them, you generally want to feed them something that's going to leave a bulge in them. Not a huge bulge, but something that's noticeable. If you're feeding your snakes and they got like a baseball size lump in their body, you're feeding them way too big of prey. All that's going to do is if you overfeed every week or you're feeding too big of meals, that's going to cause them to store fat cells, and that could potentially affect their breeding when they get older, as well as give them health issues. Okay, so you may not notice the health issues if you're overfeeding them, but as they get older, you know, they could have stomach issues, liver issues, whatever the case may be. You don't want to do that. You want to pay attention to how you feed them and what you're feeding them. So now the other topic is, do you feed frozen thaw or do you feed live? When I just had 3 ball pythons, I would only feed live because it was just kind of convenient. I would just go pick up 3 rats from my local pet store and just drop them in there, come back in an hour, check if they ate them or not. Being that we're getting more snakes, I'm switching over to frozen thawed. And with that being said, now one of my ball pythons, this one, she has not ate in 3 weeks now since swapping over to frozen thawed. So if she doesn't eat this time, I may have to just keep feeding her live rats, and hopefully eventually she will switch over. But I don't want her to go so long without food because I am trying to breed her at the end of this year, so I need her to eat. The difference is cheaper to feed frozen thaw for me, and I can imagine for people that have many more snakes than I do, and it's a little more convenient. You just put them in the freezer, take them out the freezer, drop them in water, warm water, and just let them sit for a few minutes, like 15 minutes, let them defrost, dethaw, and then they're ready to feed. So now with that being said, we will start to feed and show you guys how we do that. All right, so that's pretty much the gist of it. We still got a few rats here. When the snakes finish digesting what they have, I'll offer them these. If they take them, they take them. If not, trash they go. As you can see, the 3 ball pythons did not eat again. The male, he eats. He's currently in shed, so he's probably not going to eat until he's out of shed. The 2 females, I will get live rats next Sunday and see if that's what the problem is. Because like I said, they were eating really they were pounding them down. You drop a rat in there before you can even let go of the rat. Boom, they got them. And I don't know, maybe swapping the frozen thawed for them. They just don't like it. They want the gourmet, I guess. So we'll see next Sunday. Some pretty cool strikes in there. Those 2 reticulateds took me off guard. And it's awesome, you know. Feed them, take care of them, raise them up. This hobby is very cool, very interesting to get into. And it's truly amazing that I'm capable of doing this. Thanks for watching. This is Mass Constrictor, and I'm off to the gym.